welcome to Management Training Video 1, Integrating United States Managers to the Business World of Mexico. The purpose of this video is to show American managers how to be effective leaders in Mexican businesses. The first topic that we're going to talk about is business greetings. Typically, when men meet, they will shake each other's hands, while women will kiss each other on the cheek. The exchange of business cards is very important. Business cards should include your name, title, and is usually English on one side and Spanish on the other side. Handle these cards with care. It can be seen as an insult if you just take the card and shove it in your pocket. Next topic that we're going to talk about is attire. First, we're going to talk about women. For example, Emily is one of our women Mexican managers. See how she's wearing a stylish peplum colorful blouse paired with a black skirt, which completes her business formal look. Next, we're going to talk about men's business attire. For example, Danny, our Mexican manager, has on a nice blue shirt, tie, and pants, which creates the image that he is powerful and strong, but still friendly. The next topic that we're going to talk about is meetings in the workplace. A typical meeting may start later than the time agreed upon. In the Mexican business culture, agendas are not always followed. You should not expect to closely follow a meeting schedule. Another important aspect of meeting in the workplace is trying not to criticize others openly. In meetings, this can be seen as having a negative effect on relationships, as well as could be seen as a direct insult rather than constructive criticism. There is usually food at meetings. Breakfast meetings are the most common because the Mexican workday starts at 9 a.m. Food is a very culturally important aspect of Mexico, and to have meals at meetings builds relationships. Side meetings are common in the workplace. Do not be offended if side meetings between individuals occur during the large meeting. It is not unusual for them to have these side conversations. It can help build teams and relationships. The next thing we're going to talk about is business relationships. Personal relationships are of the utmost importance in Mexican businesses. They help cultivate strong, long-term relationships. When a manager initially meets their subordinate, long introductions and welcoming speeches are usually given. Personal questions are asked by Mexican executives to evaluate others' character. This is when managers and colleagues talk about political views and their families. In this setting, sharing emotions and personal information is important. Face-to-face communication is valued over technological and electronic forms of communication. This again stresses the importance of strong relationships in the workforce. Many people in the business world speak English, but there are going to be certain scenarios where interpreters are used. Don't forget to use formal titles when addressing manager. A common title used is Ingeniería, which means engineer. The next thing that we're going to talk about is power. Managers in Mexico are usually authoritative, but never authoritarian. The business structure in Mexico is typically based on a hierarchy. The people at the top of the hierarchy are treated with the utmost respect. As a manager, make sure that you establish your power in the hierarchy and expect those lower than you to treat you as their superior. As an authoritative leader, instructions are supposed to be direct, clear, and specific. Boss-subordinate relationships are reciprocal. Loyalty from the subordinate is important, and in return, you as the manager should always have their personal interest as a priority moving forward in the company. Visitors should travel with an executive level manager. In a meeting or in the workplace in general, be sure to have an indigenous manager of equal status to accompany you. Our next topic is collectivism in team processes. Key decisions are made by a small group of people at the top of the hierarchy. This means that you, as a manager, will be making the most important decisions for your company. This again shows the respect that the subordinates must have for the top of the organization. Mexicans work extremely well in teams. According to the Hofstede Dimensions, the country ranks low on individualism, making them a collectivist society. They especially depend on creating good relationships with each other. Establishing, developing, and maintaining teams is important. This process can be lengthy in hopes of establishing complete trust and loyalty. But once solid groups are formed, the efficiency of the company increases. There is a great deal of time spent talking about generalities of business deals.
you?
Hello, Chelsea Lynch. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. Feel free to have a seat and have some coffee. We're still going to be waiting for a few people, so once everyone gets here, we'll start breakfast and have our meeting.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay, now that everyone's here, we can get started with our meeting.
So we just want to ask you a few questions just to familiarize you with the company and, help you adjust. So,
Okay, Chelsea, so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself so we can get to know you as a company?
Okay, well, I am from New York, and I was born and raised there, and I'm one of four. And I attended Providence College, and then after that, I ended up going to work in New York City, which is a big adjustment because it's a very big city. But I moved in with some friends, and I got a great job, and I got a good position as a manager. And so far, the people I worked with were great, and it was a really great experience. But now I kind of wanted to learn more about different cultures, so I decided to come here in hopes of maybe being able to see the similarities and differences between the two, and hopes of learning more about the Mexico business as compared to the business in the United States. So since I'm new and just getting started, I was just wondering if you guys could give me a little advice on the management styles used here so I can apply it and use it when I'm kind of in charge next, and so I don't mess up or anything.
so the power distance here in Mexico is a little different from in the U.S. Subordinates show a lot of respect to the managers. We emphasize hierarchy very deeply, and
And in terms of taking risks, I know back in the U.S., you guys are more prone to take risks and do things that are a little more out of line. But here in Mexico, we value stability and security a lot. So you just should be aware that your subordinates might not be as willing to take risks.
Great, thank you very much.
I think one important thing to remember is that Mexico is very low individualist country. So we base a lot of our work here at the company in teams. So it'll be important to break up your big group of subordinates into smaller teams. That way they can build relationships with each other, and it's easier for them to be led if they have team-oriented goals. So that'll be the most efficient way to work with your team.
don't be afraid to take your time. Things go pretty slow here. We don't follow a very strict agenda, so,
Great, thank you. This is very helpful.
So I think we're done for today. Tomorrow you'll be meeting your team, and around the same time.
Great, thank you very much. It was nice meeting both of you. Here's my card. Oh, sorry. It is both in English and Spanish, so that's for you, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
And speaking of English and Spanish, just so you know, at the meeting tomorrow, we're going to have an interpreter just in case you have any trouble communicating, and that'll be on for you, just so you have it.
Great, thank you very much. Nice meeting you as well. I will see you both tomorrow.
Yes.